Let's see here. Hopefully everything working the right way. Wanted to pop in and have a little chat just because I'm at my son practice, and whenever I'm at practice, it's a little tougher. It's tougher to record and upload a video because of the connection in my Sprinter is not always the greatest. So I wanted to pop in and have a little chat because y'all been sending me some posts, and I'm gonna tell you, the posts I've been receiving from y'all is pretty interesting and pretty alarming. And then I went on my TikTok. I just posted a video on my TikTok, which I'm not a TikTok fan. I'm not a TikTok guy. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a social media guy. I do it just because it's necessary, because you got to get the message out. But I cannot stand social media. I cannot stand social media. But on my TikTok, and I'm gonna touch on this before I get into tonight's topic. Somebody say divorce ought to be the topic. We're gonna talk about that. But on my TikTok, I seen a lady put me in a video. I think you call it a duet, and it was the one where I'm talking about men. If a man wants you, you'll know. And the lady was like, um, TikTok showed it to me on the notification. She was like, I can't believe we still talking about this in 2022. And the thing about it is, it's so many women who get upset with men talking to women. And I totally get that when a man only talks to women, when a man doesn't hold men accountable. But obviously the lady don't know me and don't know my message and have not looked within to see my message and don't understand why a lot of guys do not like me is because of the accountability that I hold, the standard I hold men to, because of the standard I hold myself to and what I'm working on every day as a man. And the lady was talking about how, the article, which I did a video on the article about men gonna be the loneliest group. And it's kind of like men gonna be lonely until they realize that they're gonna be lonely, and then it's gonna be very easy for a man to not be lonely when he get his act together and he grow up. And that's the video that I was talking about, men having to understand that we live in a new world. We live in a new world, and we used to be in a world where women didn't have a lot of rights, didn't have a lot of opportunity, and so she needed a man for finances, for financial stability, and that's not the case today. A woman could do anything she want to do, anything she put her mind to. So these women no longer putting up with just any old thing when they have their own. And men gonna have to realize that it's gonna take more than money and being a provider to keep a woman. And that's going to be clear and evident, and that's going to push men to grow. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand about men is that in a lot of cases it's not intentional that men become arrogant or jerks or condescending when they get money and they start providing. The thing about it is, the reason why that goes to our head a lot of times is because a man's net worth, a man's self-worth is equated to his net worth. Or a man's self-worth is equated to his net worth. So therefore, as men, we are made to feel less than if we don't earn a certain amount of money. And we are made to feel like money is what matters. And if you cannot provide for a household, if you cannot earn enough to where your woman doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to work because she wants to be full-time in the home or full-time with the kids, a man is seen as a Rudy Poo. A man who may not have the education or the training or the ability to go out and make six figures is seen as a Rudy Poo. He's seen as nothing and nobody. And he's talked about by women and by some men, and he's looked down upon. So then when a man gets money, it can create this ego, because now he has the thing that the world says makes him a man. And so now he starts to move and think and act different until he comes into the understanding that money does not define him. But that's hard to do, especially if he comes from poverty. He comes from a certain mindset. And if you pay attention, that's why you see so many men only talk about money and flex and flaunt money of all races. You see white men do it, black men do it, Hispanic men do it, Asian men do it, because depending on where a man comes from, his net worth is his self-worth. And so men get money and start talking down to their woman, start looking at like they better than. And then if a woman doesn't have money, she may say, I have no other option. But then if she does have money, she say, you know what, I don't have to put up with this. And men, that's what's gonna push men to grow and break them out of that programming and that mindset. And so we gotta understand that. And you know, people always asking, that's what my TikTok video was about. People always asking, you know, well, why so many men giving advice to women online? And I'll be honest with you, just to keep it real with you, it's because women losing. It's because women losing. I remember hearing one time, I think I was reading a book or I was listening to the book, and the man said, it was a counselor or somebody, and he said this man and woman came to him and they said, hey, we want you to help our son. We want you to reach him and help him and get through to him, because he is taking his life for granted and he's not serious about his schoolwork and about this and that. And the counselor said, well, where is your son? And they said, well, he's skiing, and he's in Colorado skiing. And the man said, but he has the problem. And so he's in Colorado skiing. Who paid for his skis? Oh, we did. Who paid for the skiing trip? Oh, we did. So, but you're here for him? And the man told the couple, he said, your son doesn't have a problem. Y'all have a problem. Your son got everything he wants. Your son got the life. So a lot of times when women ask, why men giving so much advice to women? Why men giving so much advice to women? Did you not just see that the mother of 6 was killed by her boyfriend? Did you not just see not too long ago a mother of 6 was killed by her boyfriend? Did you not just see that a man took the life of his 3 children and himself? Did you not see every single day a man is going to prison for what he did to his girlfriend child or to his own child? Do you not see what is happening in the world? Do you not have a mother? Do you not have a sister who has been abused in every way of the world, in every aspect? And do you not see that? So men are winning in the sense of men don't have problems, because women are giving men the free-for-all. Men have multiple. Listen, I see men that look like a troll, and I'm not talking about on the internet. There are men who look like they live under a bridge, like what we used to learn about in school, the little trolls in the story. There are men who look like trolls and they got a house full of women. A house full of women. I just was with some guys and they was telling me about a guy that got 2, 3, 4 wives or women that live with him. And the man looked like a nightmare. And I see guys who look like somebody done stomped them out, and they got a woman who has agreed to allow him to have jump offs. There are so many women who have agreed to polyamory. There are so many women who have agreed that their man can cheat as long as he cheat respectfully. Now you tell me, What man do you know? Can you show me 10 men? Can you show me 10 men that you have heard about in the worldwide web? I ain't talking about that you know personally. I'm going to give you the whole world. I'm going to give you the whole world. With 7 billion people, have you heard of 10 men that allow their woman to have multiple husbands? To cheat on him as long as she do it respectfully. So then women have the nerve to say, why are there men giving women advice? Because women need advice. And the same men, the men who doing it purely, those of us who doing it purely, we giving men advice too. But the thing about it is, what you do not realize is the reason why we don't waste so much of our breath talking to men, because we know the power of the P. Do you know who taught me about the power of the P? And do you know what the P is? It's not talking about the P for the man. It's talking about the P, the derogatory word for the woman. A woman taught me about the power of the P. I just saw a woman go viral online saying that women use sex for power, for manipulation, that they use that, and that is powerful. How did David fall? Looking at a woman. How did Solomon fall? With Bathsheba. Who did Adam ignore? Adam chose his woman over God. Here you is, the first man to ever be created, and you know God on a personal basis, and he listened to his woman. You know why? Eve had them put that thing on him. He ain't know how to act. He had that release, and they know how to act. And I'm telling you, as a man, as a married man, when my wife put that thing on me, I'd be like a puppy dog for the rest of the week. And so what you got to understand is that the woman holds the power. The woman holds the power. Men do what we allowed to do. And there is no man, and this is what I need you to think about. There is no human that is going to keep themselves in check if their pleasures are reinforced. There is no human, this go men and women, there is no human that is going to do the right thing when the wrong thing is not punished. There is no human. Why do you show up to work? Because you are required to show up to work to get a paycheck. But if your job tell you that you don't have to come to work and you're still going to get paid, who in the world is going to work? You're going to find a hobby, you're going to find a passion, and you're going to do that. It's 1 out of 1,000 people that's going to go to work when the job has told them you don't have to go to work. And they going to work to escape home. That's the only reason. But why do you show up on time instead of 30 minutes late? Because if you show up late every day, you're going to get fired. You're going to get fired. So you show up on time. Why do you drive the speed limit? And we don't even drive the speed limit. And there is a ticket and a punishment for not driving it. You get points on your license and you get a ticket. But why we drive the speed limit? Because it is the law. But a lot of times that speed limit is uncomfortable and it don't make sense. So here's the thing. Why is a man going to be faithful to a woman, gonna talk to a woman with respect, gonna treat a woman like a queen if it is not required of him? A man is not finna be with one woman unless that is expected of him and that is the standard. But if a man could talk to another woman in the DM on the text message and his woman don't say nothing, his woman find that and she don't trip, he is not gonna stop. There is 1 out of 1,000,000 men that's gonna not talk to another woman just because of him. He don't talk to another woman because either his woman don't allow it or because his God don't allow it. There is rules and repercussions. There's things set in place. And that is why the good men talk to women. Because when we look at the world, when we look out into the world, when I look into the world, I don't see men getting beat on, but I see women getting beat on. I don't see men dealing with cheating. Now, yes, men get cheated on, but not in their face. But I see women getting cheated on in their face. I do not see men letting a woman use them. Use him for his apartment. Use him for his car. Use him for his savings. Use him for his connections. Willingly, men are not doing that. But women are doing that. That is why we give advice to women. The reason why I started giving advice at 22 years old, because of what my sister was going through and because of what my mama was going through at the hands of men. I was pushed into purpose. It's not something that I want to do. When I wrote my first book, What Daddy Never Told His Little Girl, the rewrite of it, I guess, would be Mrs. Right. My book, Mrs. Right. It's on Amazon. When I wrote my first book, I lost all my homeboys. My best friend from kindergarten got distant and stopped talking to me. And he said, I ain't reading your little book. I said, bro, why you ain't gonna read it? He said, because I already know what it's talking about. You ain't doing nothing but selling us out. I'm like, dang, bro, it's like that. I'm like, man, it's not even about you, though. I'm like, it's about me trying to help our mama. Your mama single, going through what my mama going through. It's about me trying to help our sisters. Your sister going through. It's about me trying to help our cousins. Your cousins going through. But guess what? No, bro, they ain't cool, man. You giving away the game, man. That's all you doing, giving away the game. I mean, I can't let my girl read that. So now, what woman in their right mind, knowing how men are about our male friends, our friendships, it's men who want more guys night than date night with their woman. It's men who laugh and kiki and gossip with their homeboys more than they do with their wife. It's men who chasing behind their homeboys more than they chase behind their woman. So what woman in her right mind think a man want to give advice to women for fun or even for a living? Because it ain't no money in it. That's why Steve Harvey wrote his book and got out the way. Because ain't no money in it. So if you're not going to dedicate your life to it and trust God to meet your needs in other ways, it ain't worth doing. But you do it because we can make more money in real estate. We can make more money in cryptocurrency. We can make more money on day trading. We can make more money going and getting a degree and going and getting a job. We can make more money. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna see 3-4 men make some money, but okay, it's 1,000 men giving advice. And some of them doing it for the wrong reason, but the ones who doing it for the right reason, the reason is because when we look into the world, we convicted. We convicted because of what we did wrong and because of what we see being done wrong. And that's what people got to understand. That's what women got to understand is you need to be glad that it's some men exposing the games and the lies that your daddy did not tell you. And your daddy didn't tell you because he did not know and he still was playing the game and he still was struggling. You need to be glad that it's some men exposing the truth because your mama was crying. Your sister was crying. You done been hurt. You done been crying. So how in the world a woman gonna fix her mouth and say, why is a man giving us advice? Because who else gonna tell you about a man than a man? Who else gonna tell you a man about a man than a man? A woman can't tell you about no man other than the man she done dealt with. That's all she could do, is tell you about the men she done dealt with. But a man know men. Nah. A man know men. And so I'm like, what in the world is this? The lady gonna put me in her TikTok video. I say, ma'am, if you don't, and the thing about it is, it's like, ma'am, you need the advice. You need the advice because I can look at you and tell you is prey. You the one gonna be prey. You the one not gonna know what you talking about. I say, boy, it's a shame out here. And then gonna use my video, and she ain't getting no buzz on TikTok. Then gonna use my video, and that's her highest viewed video. I say, boy, don't come in here trying to use me for clout. Trying to disagree with common sense. And you know what the video said? The video said, if a man wants you, you gonna know it. And you know why I did that video? Because there's so many women, and y'all see it when we do a Q&A. Y'all see it when I answer the email from inbox at Tony Gaskins. It is so many women writing in asking about a inconsistent, inconsiderate, immature, non-committal, no effort giving man. Millions of women are with inconsistent, non-committal men. And then a woman got the nerve to ask, why do a man got to tell a woman that? Because millions of women going through it. Because millions of women is waiting on a man to commit who is not going to commit. And that's why. So now, hey, I had to talk about that just so you could spread the word when you see one of these women who is bitter and upset because her relationship life ain't going right, and instead of want some help, she want to argue and complain. Instead of getting some insight, she want to argue and complain. I thought my son's practice was going at 9:30. I thought I had 45 minutes. It's 9:07. His practice over now. He coming this way now. But listen, I want to talk to you about this here divorce situation. And let me see if my door unlocked. Good thing the door unlocked, son. I want to talk to you about this here divorce situation.
What you got?
That's some ribs and some chicken wings.
What?
What you smelling? That diesel exhaust?
Oh yeah. Are you live streaming?
I'm live on YouTube. And so with this here divorce situation, which I ain't gonna be able to talk to you. Come on, son, sit right there in that chair, cause.
That's alright.
You know what I'm saying? Sit right there, cause you don't want no food.
I'm going to. I'm just pouring things
Um, because I don't want that chair squeaking.
I got you.
And so, listen to me. My chair loose, so when I be on the highway, it be squeaking on me. T, put on the accent light.
Okay.
So listen to me now. Let me tell you about this here. With this divorce situation, y'all got to understand. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of women that would do what I think her name is Tia Mowry is doing. It's a lot of women that'll do that, but they can't because the man is the provider financially, and they need to take care of their kids, and they used to a lifestyle, and they need that lifestyle, and that's why they say men are gonna be lonely. Because if men don't want to act right and grow and do the right thing, and what I'm going to tell you is every man in the world is immature. Actually, so I'm going to cut this light off. Every man in the world is immature. There is not a man that's not immature. Every man going to have an issue that drive a woman crazy. It could be he doesn't communicate. It could be his hygiene. It could be how much he does for his friends and his family. It could be his attitude. It could be his temper. Every single woman can give you a laundry list of what their boyfriend or their husband does that she is sick of. So you have to understand that a man has to be willing to grow for it to work. The man got to be willing to grow. And if he's willing to grow and change and work on himself, it can work. But when you see a woman leave after 14 years, after like Tia Mowry, after 20 years, after 7 years, and the woman filed for divorce, it is because that man is not changing and he is not growing. There is not a woman in the world that has not had to put up with something from a man. Every woman in the world has had to forgive her man for something. And every man in the world has had to forgive his woman for something. But the divorce happened, and that's why you see in all these divorces say irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences. It's because the person or the both of them who are at fault, they're not growing and changing. So listen to me. I'm finna drive home. I mean, I'm looking at the road. I ain't looking at y'all, but you know, some people be, you know, oh, honey, you hear me talking and riding. And I try to tell them it ain't no different than you riding with me and me talking to you. Cause I ain't looking at you. But holler at my son real quick, cause his phone curfew is 9 p.m. I'm gonna tell y'all something about raising these kids too. You know, we gotta do better. They ain't gonna understand it now, but I look back at the stuff my daddy did at 38, and I love him. I love him for it. And I say, you know what? When he told me no, I can't go skating, and I was literally about to go skating with my girlfriend at that time, who turned out to be a lesbian, so she wasn't finna do nothing with me anyways. And my daddy told me no. When I look back now, I say, you know what? I ain't even mad at him, because he probably felt something in his spirit. He probably felt that I was gonna get in a car wreck or I was gonna get in a fight. And that's the one time he said no, but there's several other times he said yeah. So my son, he on a 9 p.m. phone curfew. He 15 years old. And I'm sharing that for those of y'all with a 15-year-old, 13-year-old. If your son, your daughter on the phone past 9 p.m., you might want to look into that. Because we allowing these kids to become phone zombies like we have become as adults. And you got to realize, we didn't have, a lot of us didn't have social media growing up or cell phones on this level that we have today growing up. And we got it as adults, and we addicted to the phone. So imagine the kids today starting on their phone and their tablet from 2 years old. When kids get our age, they're gonna be brain dead. And that's why they say Steve Jobs ain't let his kids use the Apple products, because he understands the brain and what it do to the brain. And so that's what we gotta understand. If you give the rope to the child, they're not gonna help themselves. So we got to put them in position to win. And when they old enough to understand, they're gonna look back. And a young man about 20 years old told me that, because I reached out to him, he's an athlete, Division I. And I said, hey man, I'm doing this time limit thing with my son on social media. Do you think I'm being too hard on him? He said, man, my dad did the same thing to me when I was in high school, and I was so mad. I was so mad. But he's like, now that I look back, I'm glad he did it, because it taught me time management. And now I'm in college playing sports, high level D1 sports, but also pre-med. And he said, I only could balance a pre-med degree or a major with Division I sports because of the time management I learned in high school. So y'all think about that when we raising these kids. But if I get time when I get home, I don't get home till after 10, but I might come on here and talk a little bit more about that divorce and all that. So it might be for the West Coast, because it'll be about 7:30 over there. Might come on here and talk a little bit more about this divorce stuff that we see going on. But God bless you. So set your clock. I'm gonna try to get on. Set your clock for 10:30 Eastern. Y'all on the East Coast, you might need to go and go to bed. But God bless you, and we'll talk soon. What going on with you, son?
I'm hype.
You hype?
I'm hype.
What you back there eating on?
Chicken wing.
Chicken wing. How they taste?
Haven't been yet.
Mm.
Really go to mid.
Yeah, them real, they were a little dried out. That was the end of the day. And then also, you know, certain people can't cook ribs. We ain't gonna talk about that.